Humanoid robots just broke another boundary. And this time, it's not about what they can do, but what we can do through them.
Hype is what allows you to get investment in these problems. Investors don't want to hear it's going to be a 20-year slog and it's probably not going to work out for us. It's probably our other companies that are going to win. I think there's an enormous power in optimism.
In one of the most surreal tech moments of the year, Palmer Luckey didn't show up to a summit the traditional way. He didn't call in on Zoom. He didn't send a video. Instead, he sent a humanoid robot, fully equipped to walk, gesture, and speak as him. It wasn't a stunt. It was a bold demonstration of what it means to have a human inside a robot body. And while that was happening, Leju Robotics quietly revealed something that could change how humanoids fit into our everyday lives. Their latest creation, LUBAN No. is a smaller, sleeker version of their flagship robot, clearly designed for tight, human-centric environments. It's practical, it's agile, and it's pointing to a future where humanoid robots are actually useful, not just impressive. Welcome back, guys. Alfie here with two major breakthroughs. Palmer Luckey, the man who helped kickstart the VR revolution with Oculus, just made a public appearance through a humanoid robot. And Leju Robotics has just dropped a first look at their next-generation humanoid robot, LUBAN No. You're watching the AI Nexus, and as always, we're here to bring you every step of the future. Let's go. Leju Robotics, the company behind the original LUBAN humanoid, just teased something new. And even though it was just a short clip and a few images, what they showed off speaks volumes. LUBAN No. is noticeably shorter than its predecessor. But don't let the smaller size fool you. This isn't a step backward. In fact, it's quite the opposite. The body is more streamlined, more compact, and clearly engineered for real-world efficiency. From the looks of it, Leju is moving away from the tall, bipedal form factor that's been dominating the humanoid race and betting on something smaller, nimbler, and more suited to confined or commercial environments. The joints look refined, the arms are sleeker, the legs seem better balanced. And based on what we've seen so far, it looks like this version is being optimized for practical mobility. Less flashy, more functional. This might sound minor at first, but it's a huge design pivot. Actual deployment, not demo hype. The most exciting part? This compact design could enable LUBAN No. to navigate tighter spaces. Think offices, homes, or densely packed warehouses, where traditional tall humanoids might struggle. Lower center of gravity, smaller turning radius, less risk of falling, it just makes sense. And let's not overlook the economic angle. Smaller frame means fewer materials, which could mean cheaper production costs. And if LUBAN No. ends up being just as capable as its taller cousins, Leju could be setting itself up for an aggressive price advantage. So what's next? We still haven't seen LUBAN No. walk. The teaser video didn't show full mobility. But based on the balance of the frame and the articulation of the arms, Leju is clearly building something that's meant to move, just not in the exaggerated, overly athletic way we've seen from some other humanoid demos. They're playing the long game here, real-world usability. That means efficient locomotion, reliable balance, low power consumption, and compact packaging. And if they succeed, LUBAN No. could become one of the most deployable humanoids on the market. Not just something you show off at tech expos. But while LUBAN No. shows where robotics is going in form and function, Phantom, the robot Palmer Luckey just used, shows where it's going in presence. Let's talk about this absolutely wild moment that just happened at a recent summit. Palmer Luckey, founder of Oculus, defense tech disruptor, and one of the most prominent voices in tech, did not show up to this event in person. He didn't even appear on a live stream. Instead, he beamed into a humanoid robot, one built by Foundation Robotics called Phantom. And no, this isn't a simple pre-recorded voice or a gimmick. This was telepresence in the most literal sense. Palmer was controlling the Phantom robot in real time, moving its limbs, gesturing with its hands, and even speaking through its audio system. Live, as if he were actually there. The crowd? Completely stunned. We've seen telepresence before, on screens through VR headsets or maybe via those little wheeled robots with an iPad strapped on top. But this was different. This was a human personality, complete with voice, emotion, and expression, inhabiting a full humanoid robot body. That changes everything. Let's talk tech for a second. The Phantom robot is one of Foundation's most advanced prototypes. It's designed to mimic human movement with high fidelity. It's got expressive upper body articulation, real-time voice output, and coordinated limb control that allows it to gesture, point, and talk almost naturally. But the magic isn't just in the robot, it's in the presence. The fact that Palmer could interact with the audience as if he was in the room, despite being physically somewhere else, takes us into territory we've only dreamed about. He could look around, react to audience expressions, emphasize his points with body language. He was there, but also wasn't. It's not just a technical milestone, it's a philosophical one. And during this robotic appearance, Palmer made a point that perfectly fits the moment. He said that hype around solving hard tech problems is not a bad thing. In fact, hype brings attention, it brings capital. It gets the smartest people in the world thinking about impossible problems. And when that happens, innovation accelerates. And honestly, he's right. Because think about it, if we didn't hype the dream of humanoid robots a decade ago, we probably wouldn't have Tesla Optimus or Figaro 2 or Unitree's G1. And we definitely wouldn't have seen a human being speak through a robot body in front of a live audience. This moment with Phantom was one of those you had to see it to believe it situations. And if Foundation continues down this path, the implications are massive. Now think about it. What if doctors could attend surgeries remotely using a robot body like Phantom? What if teachers could appear in classrooms all over the world, fully embodied? What if you could visit your parents in another country by stepping into a robot shell across the globe and sitting at their kitchen table, speaking, moving, reacting? It's not teleportation, but it's probably the closest we'll get in this decade. And we're just getting started. Foundation isn't just building robots. They're building infrastructure for remote embodiment. That's a whole new category. Not just automation, not just assistance, but presence. You in another body, somewhere else, doing things in real time. And if they manage to scale Phantom, if they make it cheaper, lighter, more accessible, this might be one of the most transformative social technologies we've seen in the post-iPhone era. Combine that with Palmer's reach and influence in defense, VR, and robotics, and you've got a recipe for fast adoption in military, medical, educational, and entertainment sectors. It's not all perfect, though. There are big questions ahead. What does this mean for privacy? Who owns your actions when you're embodied in a robot across the globe? What happens if someone hacks into your telepresence feed? And what does identity even mean when your voice and gestures can animate a mechanical shell in a completely different place? Still, what we just saw, Palmer inside Phantom, is the first real taste of a future where humans and robots don't just coexist, but merge. Not through brain chips, not through implants, but through networked embodiment. It's both fascinating and a little unsettling, but it's coming. And here's the twist. These two updates, LUBAN No. 2 and Phantom, might feel very different on the surface, but they're actually part of the same story. LeJou's LUBAN No. 2 is all about shrinking the humanoid form into something functional, practical, affordable, deployable. Foundation's Phantom is about expanding human reach through robots, taking the human experience, presence, voice, intention, and giving it mechanical legs. Together, they mark two ends of the humanoid revolution spectrum, body and mind. One is streamlining the body for everyday utility. The other is using that body to extend the human. And when these ideas collide, when agile hardware meets expressive telepresence, we'll get robots that don't just act like humans, but are humans. Remotely, virtually, perhaps even legally one day. Imagine this. In a few years, you walk into a hotel and are greeted not by a human receptionist or a pre-programmed kiosk, but by a Luban-style robot with a Phantom-style interface. Behind that robot, a real person, maybe hundreds of miles away, beaming into that body just to serve you for a few minutes. It's not a gimmick anymore. It's where things are heading. The takeaway here is simple. We are entering a new era where the boundaries between human and machine are becoming flexible, where design is shrinking down for deployment and presence is scaling up for experience. Luban No. 2 is a quiet but powerful hint at how humanoids are evolving on the outside. Smaller, faster, more affordable. Phantom is the loud, shocking reminder that evolution is happening on the inside too, turning robots into living avatars. And Palmer Luckey's appearance wasn't just a stunt. It was a glimpse of tomorrow. A world where being present doesn't mean being physically there, where robotic embodiment becomes as normal as a video call, where the human soul can, in some meaningful way, occupy a synthetic frame, even if just for a little while. As crazy as that sounds, the pieces are already here. And just when you thought things couldn't get any more futuristic, enter a robot that literally never sleeps. UB Tech just unveiled the Walker S2, the world's first humanoid robot with autonomous battery swapping. That means it can operate 24/7, non-stop, without ever needing a human to step in. That alone is shocking. But just as this was happening, Nvidia CEO Jensen Huang took the stage at the Beijing Supply Chain Expo, and he dropped what might be one of the most important warnings of the AI era. His message was clear. The time for humanoid robots is now. And with what we just saw from Walker S2, you can't argue with him. He didn't just hype the future. He explained why this technology is coming faster than most people expect, and why countries like China might take the lead. He even said companies like Xiaomi and BYD could become major players in the humanoid robotics space. This isn't just a robotics revolution, it's a race, and the clock just started. Welcome back, friends. Alfie here, bringing you two major updates. UB Tech unveils its next-generation industrial humanoid robot. Walker S2 and Nvidia CEO Jensen Huang shared his thoughts on the rise of humanoid robots at Beijing Supply Chain Expo. You're watching the AI Nexus, and as always, we're here to bring you every step of the future. Let's go. So let's start with the big shocker. A robot that never sleeps. UB Tech's Walker S2 isn't just another humanoid. It's something different, something industry-focused, something persistent. The company has been working on humanoid form factors for years, but the S2 marks a serious turning point. This machine wasn't built to entertain or show off fluid dance moves. It was designed to function in the real world, around the clock, performing tasks in complex industrial environments and never stopping. The game changer? Its autonomous battery swapping system. No more needing to pause the robot and plug it into a charging dock. No more having a human technician change the battery manually. Walker S2 detects when its power is running low, walks over to a battery station, detaches the drained pack, swaps in a fresh one, and continues its mission, all by itself. It's like watching a Tesla that walks, works in factories, and changes its own battery before it runs out of juice. This enables true continuous operation. Think about what that means for industries. Right now, even the best autonomous systems are limited by power logistics. Drones land when the battery dies. Warehouse bots sit at charging stations for hours. But not Walker S2. It doesn't wait. It doesn't rest. It doesn't ask for help. It just keeps moving. That kind of 24/7 uptime isn't just impressive, it's transformative. Imagine deploying one of these in a logistics hub. While human workers clock in and out, take breaks, or go home, this robot just keeps going. It could be sorting packages, delivering tools, performing inventory tasks, or monitoring safety systems all day, every day, with no loss in performance, no risk of fatigue, no distraction, just precision and endurance. Now, it's not just the battery swap that makes Walker S2 unique. This robot also has full anthropomorphic bipedal locomotion, meaning it walks like a human. That's important because many industrial environments aren't built for wheels. Narrow walkways, stairs, uneven surfaces, all of these require legged mobility. Walker S2 can handle it. It's equipped with sensors that allow it to move smoothly, balance under shifting weight, and navigate changing layouts. Combine that with its hands for manipulation, and you're looking at a robot that's not only mobile, but useful. It's not just getting from point A to B, it's doing the work along the way. And here's the bigger implication. Autonomous battery swapping isn't just a feature, it's a mindset shift. It means these robots are being designed to be truly independent, self-sustaining, capable of living in human spaces, solving problems, adapting, and never needing to be told when it's time to take a break. This is where the industry has been trying to go for years. Robot workers that don't need babysitting. And UB Tech just proved it can be done. But if that update wasn't enough to rattle the system, Nvidia's CEO just made sure the world knows. This isn't some slow-moving trend. The humanoid revolution is here, and it's only going to get faster. Jensen Huang stood on stage at the Beijing Supply Chain Expo and didn't mince words. In fact, he said it clearly. The time for humanoid robots is now, not eventually, not soon, now. That statement, coming from the man whose chips power almost every major AI system in the world, should make the entire tech industry sit up straight. He's not speculating. He's looking at the data, the market forces, the manufacturing pipeline, and seeing humanoid robotics as the next undeniable wave. Huang pointed to something we all know is happening but don't talk about enough: the global labor shortage. Across manufacturing, logistics, retail, healthcare, and countless other sectors, there are tens of millions of unfilled jobs worldwide. It's not just a developing economy issue. Countries like Japan, Germany, the US, and yes, China, are all facing the same problem. Not enough people to fill critical roles. And that's exactly where humanoid robots fit in. According to Huang, humanoids won't just fill in the labor gaps, they'll drive GDP up. By extending productivity beyond what humans alone can handle, robots can literally make the economy bigger. They won't be taking jobs from people. They'll be doing the jobs no one wants to do or that companies can't find people to do. And they'll be doing them 24/7. That's the same vision UB Tech is building into Walker S2, and it aligns perfectly with what Nvidia is preparing to support. Because let's not forget, Nvidia is already involved with dozens of robotics projects around the globe. Their chips are powering brain-like AI systems in humanoids. They've released Isaac Sim, a full simulation environment for training robots before they even hit the real world. And with partnerships across North America, Europe, and Asia, they're well positioned to provide the computing infrastructure that makes all of this possible. And Jensen Huang isn't stopping there. He's betting big on China specifically. According to him, China is uniquely positioned to lead the humanoid robotics race. Not just because of its massive manufacturing power, but because of its deep talent in AI, mechatronics, and full-stack hardware-software integration. That's a critical point. While the West has been investing heavily in AI and robotic form factors separately, China's ecosystem is particularly good at merging both. Companies like UB Tech, Xiaomi, and BYD have the engineering power and the production scale to turn ideas into physical, mass-produced products, and fast. And Huang even hinted that Xiaomi and BYD, two companies not traditionally seen as humanoid robotics leaders, could very well enter the scene with breakthrough robots of their own. Given Xiaomi's work on bipedal robots and BYD's insane efficiency in EV manufacturing, that might not be such a wild guess. Even more interesting, Nvidia says it will collaborate with any robotics company it's permitted to. That's a clear signal that they're open for business and ready to supply the brains for this next generation of humanoid machines. Whether it's startups building home assistants or industrial giants building warehouse bots, Nvidia wants to be at the heart of it. So now we've got a convergence happening. On one side, Walker S2 just proved that robots can operate non-stop, swap batteries autonomously, and work in real environments. On the other side, Nvidia's CEO is calling for global action, pointing out the macroeconomic forces pushing humanoid robots to the front of the line and promising to power the whole shift. We're not talking about 5 or 10 years down the road anymore. We're talking about now. Companies are already testing humanoids in warehouses. Hospitals are exploring robotic assistants. Manufacturing lines are being redesigned to accommodate robots that can walk, lift, carry, and assemble. And with autonomous systems like Walker S2, we no longer need to stop the robot to recharge it. This is where things start to snowball. Battery swapping systems get smarter. Robot legs get faster. Hands get more precise. AI gets better at understanding tasks. And suddenly, we've got humanoid machines that not only resemble human workers, but actually start to outperform them in certain tasks. And if Jensen Huang is right, and history suggests he usually is, then China could become the epicenter of humanoid production. With government backing, enterprise funding, and an engineering culture that moves fast, we could be seeing the rise of robotics giants the world hasn't even heard of yet. All of this brings us back to one idea. The age of humanoid robots isn't about replacing humans. It's about amplifying what's possible. It's about taking on jobs we don't have enough people to do. It's about machines that never sleep, working with people who do. It's about building a future where collaboration between humans and robots drives growth, stability, and opportunity.